Mountain View Volleyball is live only on mylocalradio.com. Buffs Volleyball is in session for another action-packed fall season. Carrying you straight through the year and into the state tournament in November, mylocalradio.com is here to bring you live video coverage of Mountain View sports. With the opening serve quickly approaching, let's join Jake Hibbard, voice of the Buffaloes, in the MyLocal Radio broadcast booth for pregame coverage.
Welcome in State Volleyball. One more day where we will have Douglas and Mountain View doing battle here in consolation semifinal action. Jake Hibbard joining you on a Saturday morning just before 9 a.m. We'll take a break and then come back with Diana Timms, head coach of the Mountain View Buffs, getting you ready for this contest. Douglas versus Mountain View at the top of the hour on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Members of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union feel confident that our staff has your best interest in mind, confident that we acknowledge your financial needs, confident that we are always working hard to provide the best rates, best products, and the best service the industry can offer, and confident that we will always work with you to help achieve your financial goals. Join Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today. TronaValley.com, member NCUA.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at West Star Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit West Star Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. West Star Printing, 307-789-5202.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Diana Timms with me. We're in the consolation semifinals after you got through Torrington yesterday. I was watching that game as I was doing the football game, and the third set got away from you, and for a while the fourth set did as well. What was Torrington offering out there that was giving you difficulty down the stretch?
Torrington was serving tough. We just had a serve-receive breakdown, and we're really struggling, handling their serve, and then just lost a little bit of intensity and togetherness as a team, and kind of just had a team breakdown for a little bit, and then they figured it out and pulled through it.
Is that kind of a symptom sometimes of the consolation of that the intensity kind of the next day isn't quite as much there?
I think so, and I think a lot of it is the young mentality of these girls, and not have been most of them haven't played in a state tournament, so just getting through that whole situation and learning from it, I think it's just something that happens.
Now, these 9 a.m. games, this seems like it's the toughest thing to do in sport, whether it's consolation, semifinal. It doesn't matter. 9 a.m. is just too early to play, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the morning games, especially because the girls don't practice at this time. So it's just not a typical time of the day when they're usually playing volleyball. They're usually sitting in a classroom.
Yeah. And I think last week when we started, it was Mountain View Lyman, and I think it was kind of a slow start out of the gates, that one. It takes a little while to get into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. They definitely need to get out and get a good warm-up today and make sure that they're ready and focused and ready to compete.
We saw Douglas earlier in the year at the state preview, didn't we, on day 2?
We've seen him twice. We saw him at Rollins, and we beat him in 2 at Rollins, and then at the Casper tournament, they beat us in 3. So it's 1-1 right now.
Mm-hmm. And the team that you saw in Rollins and probably in Casper is a little bit different than what you'll see today because they've been injured. As far as your team goes, that's all you can worry about. So what do you need to see come out today out of the gates?
Serve receive's got to be a main focus for us. We've struggled for the last little while with serve receive, and so that's a huge focus for us, and to stay aggressive at all times. I think that sometimes we just get hesitant that we don't want to make mistakes, and we need to make sure that we're staying aggressive and play to win.
I just saw practice serve go out of bounds. It's always weird in the event center, isn't it, with serving in the sport court?
Yep, it's a little bit different. It takes some adjusting to get used to it, but overall this weekend we've had pretty good serve percentage, so I've been pleased with that.
I wanted to talk just a little bit about the Rollins contest because it was, I thought early on, obviously you jumped out on the lead, they crawled back, but how did you feel your team played in that match against the number 1 team?
You know, they did a good job. I feel like serve receive was our weakness again in that game. And I feel like if we really would have serve received maybe the same type of numbers that Rollins did, it could have gone differently. Because we were hanging in there with them, and there was some close sets, and it was just a fun match. And but like I said, you know, serve, receive, and serve it usually wins ball games. So,
if you're looking at that, because Jesse Jerome, I think, had 7 aces in that game. If you're looking at today's matchup, are there any servers that we have to look out for in particular?
They have a couple servers that do pretty well. Let me see. Number 13, she has 63 aces on the season before state, and so she's one that we're being, mindful of. And the last time we played, number 4, she aced us 4 times. So, just thinking back to our games and how they scored against us, those are 2 of the girls that are kind of on our radar with their serve.
All right, well, if we win this, we're on to the 3rd place match. Good luck, and thanks for joining me one more time.
Thank you very much.
We're in the Big Country Properties pregame show here. Broker Bobby Dalzall is part of the number 1 listing and selling agency in the Bridger Valley. Commercial, residential, land, or ranch listings. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, call Big Country Properties at 307-782-3356 or visit bigcountryproperties.com. We'll take a break and come back with the opening serve here in a bit. We'll have the starting lineups for both of these teams next. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball in the Big Country Properties pregame show, live and online at mylocalradio.com and on the radio, KNY and 99.1 FM.
Number 6, a senior, Caitlin Catson.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Back here on the Big Country Properties pregame show, Douglas and Mountain View doing battle here at the top of the hour. We are at 8:59. The 4A court being announced right now. Let's give you these starters. For Douglas, Braden Johnson, a 5'7" junior. Jocelyn Igo, a 5'6" junior. They're the outsides. That middle blocker, Allison Furtick, 6'4" junior. And Allie Olson, a 5'8" sophomore at the middle position. Right side hitter, Kinley Johnson, 5'10" junior. The setter, Camden Townsend, a 5'7" junior. And the libero, Andy Hunsicker, with 63 aces on the season, 5'4" senior. Now let's get your Mountain View starters, and we'll close out the Big Country Properties pregame show.
Haley Stevens, outside, senior.
Kylie Dellinger, middle, junior.
Ashley Timms, right side, freshman.
Cortland Condis, DS, senior.
Allie Rinker, outside, junior.
Casey Bugis, libero, sophomore.
Camry Hutchings, setter, sophomore.
Emily Bugis, DS, sophomore.
Caitlin Timms, serving specialist, senior.
Olivia Meeks, middle, sophomore.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports.
Buying or selling is a simple process if you're working with the right real estate agent. This is Bobby Dalzall, broker with Big Country Properties. We have agents serving both Lincoln and Uintah counties that can assist you with all of your real estate needs. We are the top listing and selling brokerage in the Bridger Valley and strive to be honest, hardworking, and thorough. Whether buying or selling, we make it happen. Call us today at Big Country Properties, 307-782-3556.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
And time to start off the first set here at the Casper Event Center State Consolation Semifinals. Winner moves on to the third place match, and we'll welcome you in out of the Big Country Properties pregame show. Mountain View on the left side of the net in set number one, wearing the black jerseys, black shorts. Douglas, white jerseys, save for the sleeves. They're blue with a little bit of pinkish red and some black at the elbows, and then a little radiant color. Looks like a 90s VHS tape down the sleeve, and the black shorts. They're on the right side, and the opening serve should go, I believe, to the visiting Mountain View. But no, take that away. I think it's Douglas with the serve. We'll see here. On the court for Mountain View to start off, Allie Rinker, Ashley Timms, and Camry Hutchings up on the front line, getting ready in the serve receive. So it looks like Douglas does have the opening serve. Rinker, Timms, Hutchings, Dellinger, Condis, and Bugis. And on the court for Douglas up in the front line, it's Allison Fertig at the center. Kinley Johnson on the right side. At the outside, looks like Igo. And the opening serve goes Andy Hunsicker's way. She's the libero in the black jersey. First to 25 and best of 5. The opening serve by Hunsicker is out of bounds. Point Mountain View. 1-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Keep an eye out for the Dr. McKay Frankham precision play of the game. Caitlin Timms, the opening server here in set number one for Mountain View. Punches it over to the back middle. Picked up on a high return by Igo, but a lift called. And that goes for a point Mountain View. They lead at 2-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Second serve for Caitlin Timms, senior serving specialist. As the white buffalo head on the left side of the sleeve on these jerseys. At the middle, Townsend to the outside. Fertig through the hands of Ashley Timms, and for the point. First kill of the day goes Allison Fertig's way. Fertig is a two-time state champion in basketball. Fine volleyball player as well, a 6'4" middle. She'll take her swings from the outside. A great blocker in the middle as well. Led the team in kills at 362 on the year. Serving air into the net. And point back to Mountain View. 3-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emily Bugis with the serve. Abby Hoopman was the one with the serve into the net. Fertig out of the middle. Inbounds, a big swing and past Condis and through Bugis. 2 kills early on for Allison Fertig. 3-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve back for Douglas. It's into the hands of a new player I've got out there, Chloe Collins in the back line, hitting it up to the middle. Fertig again, this time blocked by Rinker. Tried again on a dump set over from Townsend onto the Mountain View side. Rinker from the outside position off the hands of Townsend. She hits the antenna trying to dig it out of the net. Point to the Buffs. 4-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve to Allie Rinker. She had an ace in the fourth serve along the big part of the late in the points to Mountain View come back against Torrington. Tool of the block of Jocelyn Igo off the hands of Camry Hutchings on the right side. Went right off and wiped off the hands of Hutchings. Kill for Igo, and it's 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve over from Douglas. Bumped over onto the Douglas side to the middle. Big swing Allie Olsen takes something off of it, saved up, and Rinker pushes it over at the 10-foot line. Bump from the back line, Townsend to the outside. Igo tries to rip it down a sharp line shot, but it goes out of bounds and point back to the Buffs. Serve Mountain View, and it's Casey Bugus with it. High return from Collins to the middle. Igo has to back up. Good pass from Rinker to Stevens. Tips it off the hands of Townsend for the kill. And Mountain View leads at 6-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 6-3 early on, and it is just that very early, just 9 points in. Kill for Stevens. First of the day for Mountain View. Outside attack, Igo is blocked from Hutchings. Keeps it up. That was from Hunsicker on the good return up. Bugus for the return on Mountain View side. Middle set, Dellinger inbounds. Past the outstretched hands of Chloe Collins, and another point to Mountain View. 7-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Good early lead for Mountain View, trying to earn their way into the third place match later on today. That one would be at about 2 o'clock, I think 1:30 or 2, the scheduled time for that. Scheduled for 2 p.m. Middle return after the outside attack from Igo. Mountain View returns fire. Haley Stevens with it. Back to the Douglas side. Igo through a single coverage block of Dellinger, picked up by Bugus in the back line. Stevens into the net, however, and point back Douglas's way. 7-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Kinley Johnson checks in for the first time today at right side hitter, 5'10" junior. She replaces the DS Hoopman. High return from Bugus, and Emily hits it over the net. Igo tries to tee off, but she knocks it into her net. 8-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bugus to the bench after the return over, and Hoopman knocking it in. The point goes Mountain View's way, and Camry Hutchings has the serve. The sophomore sends it over. Shanked return, backed up. Townsend gets a set to the right side. Igo hits it long, out of bounds. Point Mountain View, 9-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. As we'd expect out of these early contests, I've got 5 kills for 13 points accounted for. Right side set, Igo. This time through the line. Splits the coverage of Hutchings and Bugus. Point to Douglas. Igo hitting out of zone 2, now back to serve. Got 2 balls on the court. Igo takes the second, hands the first that she got to a ball girl in the back. Serve to the back left side, return from Dellinger, back set. Stevens has to back up on it, dumps it into the donut hole, and a kill for Haley Stevens. 5-10, they get 10-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Good lead early out. Looks like Mountain View out of the gates woke up a little bit earlier than Douglas, but don't count out this tough Bearcats team, especially in the block. But this is a good time to attack. Allison Fertig on the bench. An ace from Stevens. A return one up and a missed return forces the timeout. 11-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View over Douglas on a First Bank presentation of Buffs Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com and KNYN 99.1 FM.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Set number 1 here on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. It's 11-5. Mountain View forcing the early timeout by Douglas, and the Buffs with the serve following the ace by Haley Stevens. She heads out for another run at it. Returns it, this time back middle. Braden Johnson on that first hit. To the outside, it's a swing, and Kinley Johnson gets a kill going cross court. 11-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Set number 1 here. Serve to Hunsicker. She sets up right of center, goes back right court. Condis on the first touch. Hutchings to the outside. It's Rinker. Pushes it over 2 blockers. Picked up in the backline defense by Townsend. Fertig swings out of bounds. Point to Mountain View, just a little bit long. Fertig swinging from the right side of her net, sent it straight down the line and just a hair past the line judge there. Makes it 12 to 6. Mountain View leading Douglas in this first set. Consolation semifinals, third place, a spot in the third place match on the line here. Elimination for the loser. Outside Fertig, she swings, hits it off the hands of Timms. Pancake ruled down and on the court on the attempt from Hutchings. So a kill for Fertig and a point back Douglas's way. 3 kills for Fertig early on. She led the team with 362 coming into the state tournament. 12-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Return high up and just over on 3 bumps. Rinker on the third touch. Fertig swings from the middle, blocked by Rinker and Meeks. Point back to Mountain View, 13-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Alyssa Bullington joining a lot of DSs in that back line for Douglas. Gets the first touch at the middle. It's Fertig swinging on it. A net touch. No, 4 hits. No, pardon me, try it again. For net touch on Fertig called. She got caught with the elbow in the net. Point back Mountain View's way. 14-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bugus just floats it over into the middle of the court. Hunsaker with the first touch at the middle. Johnson swings off the hands of Meeks. Wiped it off, and the point makes it 14-8. Braden Johnson with her first kill. Leads to a serve for Chloe Collins. Ace! Shanked off the hands of Allie Rinker. And Chloe Collins into the board, and with her first point, makes it 14-9. Serves it over again, and another ace. Back-to-back aces for Chloe Collins. We talked about serve receive with Coach Diana Timms early on as we were in that Big Country Properties pregame show. 2 aces out of Collins, not a player that we saw last time, or not a player we were looking for the aces, but serve receive, always an issue. Ball on the court, recovers what would have been another tough serve receive for Mountain View. So they replay the ball. 14-10 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Collins at the serve again. Hard line drive, high return from Rinker. This one a good one, right to the middle of the court. Hutchings sets up Meeks on the outside. It's tipped up off the block, and a lift called on the second touch as it was deflected off the block. Give the kill to Olivia Meeks, and the point back to Mountain View. 15-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Condis onto the bench. On the change of rotations, puts Rinker into the back line serving. Haley Stevens up to the front line at outside hitter. Outside attack for Douglas. Jocelyn Igo goes a mile out of bounds. And another point for Mountain View, 16-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 2 aces for Chloe Collins, had momentum shifting for Douglas. Now it's gone back Mountain View's way. Fertig at the center of the court, swings and hits it off the hands of Haley Stevens. Fertig, we mentioned her, she's leading the state at middle blocker position at all classifications with kills. She's got 4 in the set. Serve over for Douglas. That was Emma Saunders. We've got a million servers in the back line for Douglas. To the middle, swing, and a deflection up. Allie Olson with that attack. 10-foot line push over. Rinker can't get it over the net. It does not clear. Back to Saunders on the serve. Just inbounds. Returned from Bugus and pushed over by Casey Bugus at the 10-foot line. To the middle, Townsend sets up and delivers it to Allie Olson off the hands of Olivia Meeks, and another point Douglas's way. It's 16-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Saunders, a tough server, high return from Rinker. Back set to Meeks, winds up with the left hand, deflected off the hands of Olson. High set to the outside. It's Igo popping it over the 2 blockers. Rinker to Hutchings, then to Stevens. She shoots it through the seam. Gets it off the hands of Camden Townsend. 3 kills and an ace for Haley Stevens in the set. Point back Mountain View's way. Tightening up those, 17-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Casey Bugus serving for Mountain View. She takes her time. Floats it over to the middle of the court. High return, tied on the net. They run a tandem play. Igo gets single coverage as they went Olson and Igo on a tandem to the net. And she knocks it off the hands of Dellinger. 3rd kill for Igo. 17-14 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve back to Camden Townsend. High return from Bugus to the middle of the court. Hutchings sets up left of the net. Down the line, Stevens with the return up. Igo sets up the attack. And just 3 bumps and barely over by Mountain View. Now a bump set to Igo. She bumps it over the net back to Mountain View side. Hutchings high and outside to Stevens. Backs up on the set. Drops it down in the middle of the donut hole. And Chloe Collins just misread that ball. Ends up being a kill, but certainly not planned that way for Haley Stevens. It was a missed set that she just pushed over. Took a little something off of it. Collins misread the play. And it's 18-14. Serve over from Hutchings to the middle. Olsen hits it off the hands of Dellinger. She somehow digs it out of the net. Push over from Rinker back to Douglas side. Townsend back sets. Johnson out of bounds on the right side. Swing. Point to Mountain View. 19-14 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Coach Angela Rhodes on the right side of the net continuing to give out instruction. One of the most revered coaches in the state of Wyoming in all classifications, sports or otherwise. Camry Hutchings serves it out of bounds. Point back to Douglas. 19-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jump serve from Igo. Hard to the back left court. Dellinger gets a good return to Hutchings, then to Timms. Cross court shot. Ashley Timms with the kill. Puts Mountain View at 20. Douglas at 15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Haley Stevens serving. Just over the net to the middle. Hunsicker on the first touch. Hutchings. Townsend to the outside, and it hit the net. Braden Johnson's attack hit the antenna, so it's out of bounds. 21-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Timeout number 2 taken by Douglas. We'll take it with them on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com and KNY 99.1 FM.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Mountain View leading 21-15 right now. In the middle points, they held a 14-7 lead, but the momentum shifted back Douglas's way as they cut it down to 3 at 17-14. Since then, Mountain View has been on a 4, make it a 6-point to 1 run. 6-1 run for Mountain View. At the moment, Haley Stevens with the serve. Senior outside, sends it over. Shanked return by Hunsicker. Out of system set from Johnson to Igo in the back line. Here's a chance for Mountain View. To the middle, Dellinger tips it over. Good save though by Hunsicker. Everything's legal, still playing. Johnson on the outside, cross court, picked up from Bugus. High to Hutchings, she backs up on it. Back to Dellinger again. Through a block and punched up. What a great save on the Douglas side. Credit that one to Braden Johnson on the great save. Back set to Timms. She pops it over, out of bounds. Point out of the break goes Douglas's way. A great save there on the Douglas side of the net between 3 players of the Bearcats that really kept the play out of hitting the sport court on what should have been a kill for Olivia Meeks. 21-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Push up to the middle. 2 players swing for it. Dellinger and Timms. Diving save by Bugus as it's hit right back over the net. Cross-court shot from Rinker. Deflected. High up. Intended for the outside of Johnson. She's blocked by Dellinger. Stays on Douglas's side. Fertig blocked by Rinker. Punched up by Fertig. She'll try it again. Terminates off the hands of Casey Bugus. 21-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A 4-point deficit again for Douglas. Hunsicker serving. Serve to the back left court. Hutchings stepped over the line and will get called there. Yeah, over the line or into the net, either way. Hutchings had a tough row to hoe there with a ball right in the net. 21-18 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Good serve just over the net, picked up by Rinker. She gets the ensuing attack, sends it off the hands of Johnson. High from Townsend, looks like they're going to Fertig. 2 blockers on her, down off the hands of Hutchings. We're within 2, 21-19. Here comes Douglas, and the timeout taken by Mountain View. 5 kills in the set for Allison Fertig, and we'll take a break on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
21-19 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View still on top of Douglas. Andy Hunsicker serving, though, with 63 aces on the season coming into the state tournament. Not exactly who you want to see at the serving helm for Mountain View. Outside attack, line shot from Rinker, returned up from Igo. Townsend to the middle. They're sticking with the middle blocker. Fertig blocked by Dellinger, but she slaps it back over. Bucas a bump set, back line to Dellinger, hits it under the net. 21-20 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. It's now a 1-point differential. Camry Hutchings talking with Bucas after that, I think saying, let me take that ball. On that bump set, or would have been bump set. Hutchings back sets to Dellinger, sticking on single coverage. Johnson on her, saved by Hunsicker. Townsend backs up on the set to the right side. Fertig, line shot, and Bucas dives under the ball to keep it from hitting her. It sails out of bounds. 22-20 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Caitlin Timms back to serve for Mountain View, the senior. Needing a good start here. Punches it over to the right side. Picked up by Johnson. Townsend back to the middle. Triple coverage on her. Long and just out of bounds. Oh, Fertig just barely missed the line on that far sideline there. 23-20 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View on top. Igo shanks the first return up. She'll try to slap it over on the third. Does get it. Good spin on that. Diving save made by Caitlin Timms. Outside attack, Rinker bounces it off the top of the net and off the hands of Townsend. Kill for Allie Rinker. We're at set point number 1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Believe it or not, set number 1. That's the first kill for Allie Rinker. Junior outside for Mountain View. Timms serving with the lead and the set on the line. Hunsicker returns it, but goes to a bad return for Townsend and into the scorer's table. We'll knock that up as an ace for Caitlin Timms on a tough serve. And the opening serve goes Mountain View's way, 25-20 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Sometimes getting the whole family scheduled for a dental appointment is hard. Different days, different times, and then how do you pay for it all? These problems have been solved by Black's Fork Dental in Mountain View because we serve patients of all ages. It's easy to schedule the whole family on the same day, so you just make one trip. We accept most insurances, and if you don't have insurance, we offer an in-house discount so the whole family can have a healthy smile. Don't wait. Call today. Black's Fork Dental in Mountain View, 307-782-3630.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbert, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNYN 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to MyLocalRadio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at MyLocalRadio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. We invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Set number 2 here, Mountain View takes the first 25-20. Let's take a look around the bracket in 3A to see what else is in store for today. So after this contest is completed, Lander and Pinedale will begin warming up. Top teams from the Northwest and Southwest. A number 1 seed from the Southwest versus the number 2 from the Northwest, playing in an elimination game to play the winner of this contest for third place. And then at 4 p.m. today, Worland and Rollins, the 3A state title, is the cap-off for this contest. Kelly Walsh and Thunder Basin playing in the 4A state title. Cokeville and I believe Wind River playing in the 1A. Don't have the 2A in front of me. First set, our first play of the second set is a Mountain View serve over from Rinker. To the middle, it's Allison Furtick through 2 blockers. High return from Bugis and returned over the net and put down by Allison Furtick. First point goes Douglas's way. 1-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 5 kills for Allison Furtick in the opening set. Back to serve is Abby Hoopman for Douglas. And an ace for Hoopman. Put her on the board, 2-0. Douglas firing out strong there, now set on the left side of the net. Mountain View on the right. Hoopman to serve again. Low return from Rinker. And a tough shot for Stevens. She was way outside the antenna, just got it. Furtig. Ooh, we got a player in the net. No, a double hit called on Camden Townsend. Gives the point to Mountain View. 2-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Well, if we do have a third place match at 2 p.m., we'll be right here on MyLocalRadio.com and on K9 Radio in out of Evanston to bring that contest for you. Mountain View needs to win that in order for us to do that. They're up 1-0. Casey Bugis with the serve to the back middle, and Hunsicker with the bump up. Camden Townsend to the right side of Johnson. Bugis punches it over, and Stevens pushes it up. Furtig on the first touch for Douglas. Outside attack, Braden Johnson puts it up, and a bump set from Townsend, or from Hutchings, rather. Back to Douglas's side. Backline attack, and Igo. Everything was legal on the back line. She didn't go over the net, so it's back to Mountain View side. Push from Rinker. Touch Furtig. They'll set up the middle from Townsend through 2 blockers. Off the hands of Stevens, and another kill for Furtig out of the break. Make it 3-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Douglas on top. Chloe Collins serving. Jump serve goes to the middle. Rinker takes the first touch. Hutchings to the outside. Stevens on 2 blockers. Sharp cross. Gets by Furtig, but it is pushed up. Townsend blocked by Dellinger. Stays on Douglas's side. To the outside, a bump over from Igo. Bugis takes the first touch. Then from the far right to the left, it's Hutchings to Stevens. Tips it off the block of Johnson. Townsend takes the first touch. Igo off the hands of Hutchings, and single coverage gives the point back to Igo and Douglas. 4 kills for Jocelyn Igo in the contest so far. 4-1 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Collins serves again for Douglas. High return from Bugis. Hutchings back sets. They're trying with Dellinger. She's got double coverage. Gets it past the seam. Igo swings through 2 blockers herself. Sharp cross. Rinker on the first touch. Stevens set up. Tips it off the hands of Townsend. Townsend sets to the middle, and it's Furtig with the left hand into a donut hole. Diving save by Rinker. Second from Bugis, returned over. Townsend hits it over for the kill. Camden Townsend saw the Mountain View defense on its back heels and quite literally on their knees on the ground all over the place. Slapped it into that area and takes a 5-1 lead. First kill of the day for the setter, Camden Townsend. Line drive serve from Collins is an ace. A disastrous set start for Mountain View, and what a comeback for the Douglas Bearcats. We've got First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball here in the consolation semifinals. 6-1. Douglas leads in set number 2.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
6-1, and the timeout taken by Coach Timms. Douglas trailing, Douglas trailing in the set count, but up big in set number 2, 6-1 over Mountain View here in the consolation semifinals of 3A at the Casper Event Center. Chloe Collins with the serve, coming off of an ace, her third in the contest already. High bump set from Hutchings to Stevens, and Fertig with the stuff down. Well, they've got to get Allison Fertig out of the front line if Mountain View wants to get anything going. They've been able to hit around her quite a bit, but they're having to do just that, hit around her. They can't go where they want with the 6'4" middle blocker in their way. Stevens goes down the line, beats the block of Townsend. She was a little slow reacting, and a kill back for Mountain View gives them the serve. 4 kills for Stevens in the opening set. Camry Hutchings with the serve. 7-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hutchings opts for the middle. Hunsicker with the first touch. Townsend to the outside, tied on the net. Igo went over the net. It was uncalled. Maybe her back heel wasn't quite over, but she gets the kill. And the point sure looked like her right heel went completely over the line, but goes uncalled. And the kill for Douglas and Igo. 8-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bump set from Hutchings, 10-foot line push over by Stevens. Now into system. And it's to Igo. 2 blockers on her. Tipped off Dellinger. Stevens makes the diving play. Third bump just over from Bugas. No chance for an attack as Bugas was the only player on the ground. Not on the ground. Igo hits it into the net. Point back Mountain View's way. 8-2, 8-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Allison Fertig steps out of the contest. That puts Allie Olson at middle. You go from 6'4" to 5'8". Serve over from the Buffs. Tied on the net and pushed in by Allie Olson. A bad setup and set up by a great serve by Haley Stevens for 3 pushes right at the net line. And tried again. 8-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Another tight set at the serve over at the 10-foot line. Outside Igo with the left hand. Pushes it just over in front of Hutchings. Kill for Igo. 9-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3 kills in the first, and now 3 kills already through the first 9 points for Jocelyn Igo. Camden Townsend back to serve for Douglas. Ball on the court. Delays the serve. Now Townsend jumps it over. No, jumps it, but it does not go over the net. 9-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve back Mountain View's way. It's Caitlin Timms. Puts Casey Bugas on the bench momentarily. She'll replace Timms, but for Mountain View's sake, they hope it's not for a while. Got a good server back there on the right side of the net in Timms. Sends it over to the right court, and an ace for Caitlin Timms. Just on cue, Caitlin, a strong server, up to about 40 aces on the season. Adds 1 more, her second of the contest. 9-6, long and to the middle, Hunsicker. Sends it up to Townsend at the middle. Elson through 2 blockers. Good save by Timms. To the outside, it's Rinker. Drops it into the donut hole. Townsend at the middle, pushed over, deep corner. Olsen is just out of bounds, and Cortland Condis was following it all the way. Dove was short, and that's good because the ball was out. 9-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Timms the serve again, just lofts it over the net. Olsen comes up and saves it. Townsend to Johnson, cross-court shot, and a kill. Kaylee Johnson with her second kill of the game. Puts Douglas at double digits first. They're leading 10-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Again, this is the consolation semifinals, Mountain View and Douglas. Mountain View took the first set, Douglas up in the second. Middle set, and Olivia Meeks for Mountain View way under the ball. Misses as it goes long on the out of bounds on the cross-court shot, 11-7. Jocelyn Igo with the jump serve, middle of the court, just gets over. Condis a high return, close to right where Hutchings wanted it, dumps it over. And in between 4 players, the perimeter defense did not work there. Camry Hutchings with the dump set kill. 11-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emily Bugas, sophomore DS, serving for Mountain View. Sends it over to the opposing libero, Hunsicker. Townsend outside, Johnson through single coverage. Condis on a first touch. Bugas saves it with the punch, but it goes under the net. No chance for Olivia Meeks to really get a play on a third over. 12-8, Douglas leading. Puts Fertig back up into the front line. So Douglas does give up a bit of the lead. And when she comes out, but they still enter. As she enters, they're still up by 4. Meeks on the outside, and Meeks tools the block of Fertig. Second kill of the game for Olivia Meeks. 12-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. It was double coverage going up against Meeks from left of middle, and she slammed it right off the right wrist of Allison Fertig. Townsend gets a good set for Douglas on the right side. Johnson is blocked. Stays on Douglas's side. Deep corner push for Fertig. Hutchings to the outside. 2 blockers on Stevens. She knocked it off of Kinley Johnson. Perfect play by Haley Stevens. She elevated and slapped it off the right wrist there, and it went sailing down to the Douglas bench side. 12-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. To the middle. It's another block. Johnson was stuffed down by Haley, but they keep it up in play. Left side attack from Fertig. Fertig now moves to the middle to block against Stevens. Cross-court shot. High return over the net by Igo. Corner push, and Igo bumps it up. A second by Townsend, a third over by Hunsicker. In system is Mountain View now. Hutchings dumps it over to Townsend. Johnson, Fertig, cross-court shot, and the right side of Kinley Johnson sets up the kill for Allison Fertig when it looked like Mountain View was the team in system and ready to attack. Douglas played that entire set, it looked like, out of system, but they end up getting an assist and attack. Kinley Johnson comes to the bench, gets a little bit of blocking instructions as she was struggling to get it up against Haley Stevens on a couple of attacks. 13-11 after a serve out of bounds. Gives the ball back Mountain View's way. Casey Bugas with the serve, 13-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hard serve to the back right side. Johnson to Igo. Back to Johnson in the back line. It's just inbounds. Bugas returns it to Hutchings outside. Stevens is blocked by Fertig, but out of bounds. One more point closer. Mountain View trying to rattle their way back. 6 kills for Haley Stevens. 13-12 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Douglas on top by a single point. Bugas serves again, line drive. It's a hard one to return. Hunsicker does it though. Townsend to Fertig. 2 blockers on her. Hits it off the hands of Hutchings. She recovers, gets the setup to Stevens. It's a little bit off though. Down the line, picked up by Igo. Townsend to the outside. Johnson has to back up on the set, and that results in the ball going out of bounds on the line attempt. Tied it back up, and a missed set by Townsend there gives Mountain View a free point. Timeout taken by Coach Rhodes and the Douglas Bearcats. We'll take it with them. 13 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
13 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We mentioned the importance of getting your points when Allison Fertig is out of that front line. It takes something off of that Douglas block. Well, it was a 9-4 lead for Douglas when she came to the bench, and Mountain View was able to cut just 1 point off the lead. It was 12-8 when she came back in. Since then, though, Mountain View has gone right at her, and the right sides, whether that's Townsend or Johnson, and had no fear in attacking. Haley Stevens leading the way in the points right now. She's got 3 kills in the set. And the attacks have started to pile up for Mountain View. They've been on a run. It's a 5-1 run out of the break. Casey Bugas serving for the Buffs with an ace. And Mountain View takes the lead back. First ace of the day for Casey Bugas gives Mountain View a lead here in set number 2. The run continues for Bugas. Sophomore libero in the white jersey, setting up on the right side of the net to the far left side of the court. Hard serve. Picked up, and again right at Hunsicker. An ace back-to-back for Casey Bugas. Well, the timeout early on not having the desired effect by Coach Rhodes to quell the storm. Bugis taking her time. Now approaches, pops it over. Do we have 3 aces? No, it's returned over the net, though. Back to Mountain View. Stevens off the block. Sharp cross and a kill. A seam left open between Camden Townsend and Allison Fertig that you could have put a boat through. 16-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A lack of closure there. It's like the end of a bad relationship. Seam left open there. Casey Bugis serves again. Townsend to the middle. Fertig winds up, blocked by Hutchings. A run for Mountain View, 17-13. 4 straight points out of the break. Douglas still with 1 timeout to work with. Last one didn't do too much to end the storm. Bugis, a float serve to the 10-foot line, picked up by Hunsicker. Back set, Johnson, blocked by Stevens. Inbounds one more time. Make it 5 in a row. 18-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bugis still on that serving roll. Ball's rolled to her. She pops it up to her hands with the flip of the right shoe. Now approaches with the white sneakers. Out of bounds, and the serving run ends for Bugis, but not before she gives the team a 4-point lead. Now it's to the Douglas side. Chloe Collins on the serve. Picked up by Rinker. Hutchings to Stevens. Sharp cross. And it's going back middle rather. Collins to Igo, blocked out of bounds, and 2 straight points for Douglas. Igo back into the front line. 4 kills for her in the set, 7 in the game. About 5'7". Let serve over the net. Bugis gets 1 touch. Hutchings a bump set and a bump over from Rinker. To the middle, Fertig sets up for Douglas and powers the shot down. Here comes Douglas again. They're rattling their way back. And on the rotation wheel right now, it's the last rotation for Allison Fertig up into the front line. She's still up there, but she'll have this serve out of bounds. And now it's to Mountain View, and the next time Douglas gets possession, she will go to the bench. So Mountain View in good position right now, 19-16, and in the right position of the rotation wheel on the defensive side, or going against the defense. Camry Hutchings serves it. Hunsicker watches it all the way back, and it hits the back blue of the sport court. An ace for Camry Hutchings makes it 20-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and another timeout taken by Douglas. 20-16 when we return. Set number 2, Mountain View leading on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This is a First Bank presentation of Buffs Volleyball.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
Just a little bit of recent history between these two teams. They've matched up twice this season. Mountain View won the first at the 3A state preview in 2 sets. That got them into the championship match against Rollins, and then they lost in 3 sets right here at the Casper Event Center on the sport court a couple of weeks later. Back underway, Fertig tips it down, and a net touch on Allison. Wow, she had it down, but her right wrist sweeped across the webbing, and a point out of the break. Back to Mountain View. Hutchings on the serve still. She had 1 ace that forced the second time out by Coach Rhodes. Fertig on the right side block. Gets it over the 2 blockers of Mountain View. Stevens way left of the antenna. Sharp cross kill in front of Andy Hunsicker. Another kill for Haley Stevens. Douglas out of timeouts at this point, and Haley Stevens, she's about out of space on my stat sheet in set number 2. For attacks and kills. 22-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 5 kills in the set, a block as well. She has 9 in the game, an ace and a block. High serve up from Hutchings. Bump set Townsend. Fertig has to back up on it. Hutchings on the first touch. Returns it behind her. Bugas to Dellinger. Pops it over. Townsend on the first touch. Then Fertig. She pushes. No, it's Igo with the push over. 22-16. Bump set Bugas to Stevens. Tips it over the block. And through the hands there of Alyssa Burlington. And a point for Mountain View. 23-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 23-16. Mountain View on top of Douglas. Camry Hutchings still serving. Set from Townsend. Outside, Igo at the 10-foot line. Hits it into the net. Ladies and gents, our two-set point. Mountain View from down 7-1 early in that set has crawled back, leads it 24-16. And they've done a lot of that with Allison Fertig on the court blocking. Right side block. Fertig flips it down, and now she will get the kill and come out of the contest. Point back, make it set point number 2 for Mountain View. 24-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Fertig and Hunziker to the bench. Serving is Saunders. Left-handed serve over to the right side. Stevens to end it. She does! A push over the block of Igo. And in front of the backline defense, Mountain View has taken a 2-0 lead. 25-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll be back with set number 3 next on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Dr. McKay Frankham, quality dental care at affordable prices. Yeager's Auto Body. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been at the top of the game in auto repair. Westar Printing in Evanston. No matter what you want printed, Westar is where you want it done. Reese Auto Service. From lawnmowers and snowblowers to cars, trucks, and semis, Reese Auto Service in Lyman does it all. Trona Valley Credit Union, member NCUA. Plains Tire in Evanston, Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
Set number 3 upcoming here at the Casper Event Center. The consolation semifinals, a 9 a.m. contest has woken everyone up here at the Casper Event Center. We've got 4 courts going on, 1A through 4A. We're on the 3A court here with the Douglas Bearcats down 2-0 to the Mountain View Buffaloes. Buffs lost day 1 in 4 sets, a tough 4 sets to Rollins. They had a big lead early, lost 26-24 in the opening set, and then won the 3rd set to stave off a straight set loss, lost in the 5th. Outside attack from Allie Rinker, just her 2nd kill of the game. You got to be kidding me. You just took away a kill from Rinker. The ball was under the court. It hit off Rinker. The up official blew the whistle just in time. That, oh man, I don't think anyone had reacted, but the whistle was blown just before the kill went good. So a replay, 0-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Rinker had her 2nd kill of the game in the bucket. To the middle, Allison Fertig winds up and swings. It's out of bounds, just out of bounds. And the point goes to Mountain View. The line judge did the old, hey, it's down, hold up, it's out. And I can't blame her because my initial thought was it's in, and then I thought, no, it's out. It was very close. Caitlin Timms serves over for Mountain View. 1-0 lead for the Buffs. Backline attack, Igo to Hutchings. Hutchings bumps set Over to Condis, and then Rinker tips it over. Tight cross. Johnson gets a bump out of the net. And she'll get the ensuing attack on a set from Hunsaker. Down the line and past Condis. A gigantic hole left by the Mountain View defense. 2-0 lead here in set number 3. 1-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Second kill for Braden Johnson. Low return from Condis. Back to Bugis. She'll just get it over the net, but it's a tee-off for Camden Townsend. 2-1. And it basically ended up being a set from Bugis to Townsend, and she attacked it, and looked like Coach Timms for Mountain View said, hey, next time bump it over. Don't set it up for the other team. Condis on the return on the serve up. Mountain View attack. Allie Rinker off the hands of Townsend. Again, Allie's just second kill of the game. A quiet attacking day for her. She's been doing most of her work out of the back line. And she's got the position right now of Meeks and Hutchings in the front row. Emily Bugis back to serve. 2-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Middle attack, Fertig with the right arm is picked up by Condis on the back line. It's a back row attack from Bugis. Set Townsend to Johnson, and it's out. Braden Johnson hits it long. 3-2 Buffs. Mountain View took a 2-0 lead over Torrington yesterday, but it got scary in the third and fourth sets. The third one got away from them, and they were down big 7-1 in the fourth set before coming back to win 25-21. Condis gets a pancake up, then to Rinker. Bugis tries to get a third, but she tumbles over the body of Rinker trying to do so, so it's a point to Douglas. 3-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Chloe Collins serving for Douglas. On the right side of the net, they're in the white jerseys, Mountain View in the black. High return, high on the arms, I should say, by Rinker. Outside, Meeks hits it into the net, and frustrating, throws it under with the right arm. 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View trails Douglas. Up on the set count, though, are the Buffs, 2-0. And Collins serves again. She had 2 aces last set. She sends it out of bounds here. Tied back up. Collins in the game, 4 aces, 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Allie Rinker with the serve. To the middle of the court, Hunsaker high return. Townsend sets up Fertig. Bugis with the first touch, then to Stevens on the attack. Cross-court shot. Hunsaker makes a diving play. Igo has to back up on the set. Toes the antenna, keeps it on to Mountain View side. It's Meeks through 3 blockers, flips it over the hands of Fertig. Now Fertig at the middle. She's partially blocked by Meeks, but it stays on Mountain View side, and credit Fertig with the kill. She has 10 kills, now 11 in the game, Fertig does. Junior middle blocker, and takes a seat on the bench. Mountain View enters these 3 rotations of no Allison Fertig. Down just 1 point, that's a pretty good position to be in. Although they played pretty well with her in the rotation last time. Meeks from the middle, winds up at it. Swung and returned, though, by Johnson. At the middle, it's Olsen. Hit out of bounds. There was no touch. Nope, there is a touch. Down official calls the touch and give the kill to Olsen. Was that the net that maybe, like, who was even at the middle? I missed it. A touch called. Looked like it very well could have been one, and an ace out of the break makes it 7-4. Ace to Saunders. Chloe Collins actually with 3 aces. I scratched one out and then had to put it back in. Right side attack, and Meeks has lost her swing. It's out of bounds. 8-4, maybe a time for a break here for Mountain View. They'll let it play for now. Coach Timms walking up from behind Meeks, giving some encouragement and instruction. Meeks on the first touch up. Hutchings sets to the outside. Stevens was so big in the second set with her attacking to get Mountain View. We're back in on it. Attacks there. 3 bumps it over for Douglas. Back to the middle. It's Meeks. They'll try her again. Double coverage on her. Gets it up. Collins on the return. Outside attack. Igo. Cross-court shot. Bugis, a good touch up. It's to Hutchings. Then to Stevens. 2 blockers a little bit late. She tips it over. And a kill. No. 1, 2, and a third over by Igo. Great save by Douglas once again. Outside back to Stevens. This time down the line. And nothing you can do about it for Abby Hoopman. It's a kill for Stevens. First of the set for Haley. 8-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 10 kills for Haley in the game, and They need to get her swinging arm going. The senior, when she's hot, can carry this team in the attacking game. Long bump set from Douglas all the way in the 4A court. A flip over by Dellinger. They're out of system. Big bump up from Igo and then over by Collins. Bugis to Hutchings. She has to dump it over. Picked up by Igo, then to Hunsicker. Thrown over the net. Back to Mountain View side. Dump over from Hutchings. She got caught with it. She got caught by the net. Rejection. 4 hits called. 9-5. Hutchings tried to go back-to-back bump sets, and the second one, she tried to do a little left-hand sky hook over it, but the net had other ideas. Camden Townsend serves it into the net, so a point right back for Mountain View. The rotation's rolling, though, and I think we're just 1 away now. Looks like we're just 1 away from Fertig re-entering the contest. Serve over from Mountain View to Igo on the right side. She's blocked, and a kill. Well, a block for Haley Stevens, rather. She's got 2 in the game. 9-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Camry Hutchings, the server. Hits it over. Townsend to the right side. Igo beats the block and splits it. Good kill for Jocelyn Igo. She's leading the way at the outside. 8 kills for Igo for Douglas. Bested only on her team by Allison Fertig, who's into double digits, swinging out of the middle. Igo now serves. Rinker, a shanked return. Stevens sets to Dellinger at the 10-foot line, flips it over the net, and a kill. Completely out of system. Rinker shanks it to Stevens, who assists Dellinger at the 10-foot line and hit the top of the net, rolled over, and Mountain View is within 2. For Kylie, that's kill number 2 of the contest. Stevens on the serve into the net. 11-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Here comes Allison Fertig. And out goes Haley Stevens. Send over, Hunsicker. Bump up, Hutchings to Rinker at the 10-foot line. Hits it off the hands of Fertig. And a 3rd kill of the contest for Allie Rinker. 11-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A 2-0 lead in a state tournament. That doesn't mean anything. This game of volleyball is such one of momentum that you need to get it all. You need to get it right when you can. If you got the sweep in your hands, you need it, because once Douglas gets one, there's no telling how high they could fly. Condis returns it on the second. 3rd over by Timms, just over and inbounds. Hunsicker to Johnson. Backline attack. Igo to Hutchings. Both teams playing out of system. Timms dumps it over from the right side to the middle. Fertig attacks. Blocked by Meeks. It's kept up, though. Not on the 3rd. Hunsicker hit it with her hand. It's down, and Mountain View is within 1. 11-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Caitlin Timms serving. Floats it just over the net. Igo returns it. Townsend to the middle. Johnson touches it. Ashley Timms on the return up. Rinker at the 10-foot line. Winds up and cross-court shot saved by Townsend near the 4A court. Igo on the flip over the net. Hutchings back set to the right side, and Timms is over the net or in the net. Yeah, she was caught in it. 12-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Right side attack goes into the net for the freshman. Serve for Alyssa Bullington, also into the net. That being the serve. 12-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve now Mountain View's way. Emily Bugis. Black jersey, left of net, serves it long, just returned up by Hunsicker. It was close to out of bounds. 10-foot line attack hits the net from Igo. Picked up by Casey Bugis. Hutchings to Rinker. She beat the block, but hit it out of bounds. And there's no touch any way around. Back to Douglas on the point on the attacking air by Rinker. 13-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Douglas playing to stay alive and force a 4th set. Mountain View trying to come back and close it out in 3 sets. Here in the consolation semifinals, bad serve received results in 3 bumps and over for Mountain View. To the middle, Fertig winds up off the block of Meeks, and another kill for Allison. It's actually been a pretty quiet attacking set for Allison Fertig. So that's just her 2nd kill of the set, 12 in the game. Chloe Collins serving for Douglas. Lines it over. First touch from Rinker. She'll get the right side attack against Fertig. It's a block. Diving punch saved by Bugas. Keeps it in play, but it's 3 bumps and over for the Buffs. To the back right court. It sets up Townsend to the right side. Fertig again. Deflected on the block, and again Bugas with the save. To the outside. It's Rinker. This time she pushes over Fertig, and Townsend flips it over the net. She touched it. Someone touched it. Mountain View with the net touch. I think it was maybe Hutchings. And the point to Douglas. 15-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Chloe Collins still on the serve. Hard serve, just out of bounds. Emily Bugas backed up on it, slid to her knees, and pulled off the returning hands. Point to Mountain View, 15-12. Allie Rinker serving for the Buffs. Rinker waiting for the signal over. Now sends it just over to the middle of the court. Hunsicker on the first return. Fertig hits it off the hands of Haley Stevens, who's upset with her attempt there. 16-12 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Now Fertig out of the game. Puts back in her stead, serving. Is that Kinley Johnson? No, that's Saunders serving for Fertig. Stevens with single coverage. It's inbounds. Ooh, it was close. Point to Mountain View in the kill for Haley Stevens. And just like that, you take Fertig out of that equation. Stevens got single coverage against someone about her own size, and she elevated way over. She's hit it off Fertig several times in that second set. Mountain View did most of their comeback with Fertig in the rotation. Now a chance here with her out, 16-13. Serve over from Bugas, returned over the net, touchdown by Dellinger. Picked up on the Douglas side, Igo to the cross court. Bugas with the first touch, Stevens on 2 blockers, pops it over, down the line. Chloe Collins with the return. Townsend sets up Igo, 2 blockers on her, and she tooled the block of Hutchings. Good attack by Igo. Point to Douglas, 17-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Kinley Johnson into the game. Takes out Alyssa Bullington in the back row. Johnson a right side. Camden Townsend, the setter, serving. Hutchings to Stevens, single coverage on her, sharp cross. Good pickup by Igo. She gets the ensuing attack down the line. Stevens, or make that Bugas rather, with the return, and Stevens with the attack. Returned over and just inbounds, picked up by Bugas. Back to Stevens for a third touch. On the line, looks like Stevens' legs are getting a little bit tired there. Igo, line shot. Bugas followed it all the way down to the ground, put the return up. Backline attack by Allie Rinker into the donut hole. Camden Townsend backs up on a good return. Flip over, Bugas to Hutchings, then to the middle. Dellinger, 2 blockers on her, and a touch at the net. It may have been out of bounds, but it was a touch at the net. And a point to Mountain View, 17-14 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. All 3 of Kylie Dellinger's kills have been a little funky today. That one, no exception. Hutchings serves over. Hunsicker to Townsend, outside, and a big swing by Johnson is stuffed down by Kylie Dellinger. Timeout taken by Douglas. Looking to right the ship at 17-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and this is First Bank presentation of State Volleyball Consolation Semifinals, live from the Casper Event Center on MyLocalRadio.com and KNY at 99.1 FM.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Mountain View looking to crawl back here to within 2 points, 17-15. They came back from a deficit in set number 2. Camry Hutchings with the serve. Left side of the net for Mountain View, trailing Douglas. Ford in the serve receive back line for Douglas on the right side of the net. Sent over from Hutchings. First touch Hunsicker, then to Townsend at the middle. Igo tips it over 2 blockers. It's to Timms. She bumped it up into the net basically. So the point out of the break goes Douglas's way. 18-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jocelyn Igo serving for Douglas. Just after 10 a.m. here in set number 3. 3 bumps and over for Mountain View, looking a little out of system, out of the break. Back set, Johnson, blocked by Stevens. Haley Stevens well on her way to a Dr. McKay Franken Precision Player of the Game with another block, her second of the set. Point back to Mountain View. 18-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Stevens serves it over. She has 1 ace in the game. Picked up by Johnson, who gets the ensuing attack. Down the line, Hutchings with the return up. And it's a 3rd hit over by Dellinger. Timms was ready to set it and then realized it would have been 4 hits. At the middle, a shoot down. Ellie Olsen gets it through the hands of Dellinger there. 19-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3 kills in the contest, make it 4 now for Allie Olsen. Hunsicker serves. And an ace for Hunsicker. Timeout taken by Mountain View. The lead now up to 20-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board here in set number 3. Mountain View took the first 2 sets, but Douglas threatening to force a 4th. When we return on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Down to their final points here in set number 3 is Mountain View taking that timeout. Coach Timms looking determined in the huddle to finish this 1 in 3 some way, somehow. Mountain View needs to go on a 9-4 run to do so, or something about of that equivalency. Douglas with the control of the set and the serve over. Nearly an ace. Rinker pops it over just out of bounds, and point back Douglas out of the break. 21-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hunsicker the server. It was 11-15. Mountain View was on a roll to make it 17-15, but since then it's been all Douglas. And another point out of the break on a deflection of Fertig, who is back in the game on the attack on the right side by Timms. 22-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hunsicker with the serve. Serve over, out of bounds. Bugas called that one out. 22-17. Goes to Caitlin Timms on the serve for Mountain View. Shoots it over. High return by Igo to the middle. Fertig backs up on it and off the hands of Timms. The kill for Allison Fertig. Again, it's been a fairly quiet attacking set for her, but a slow roller. She's now up to 4 kills and 23 points for Douglas in the set. 23-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And serving over an ace. Now lift called on Allie Rinker. Give the ace to Abby Hoopman. We're at set point. 24-17. We'll take one last break. Be back in 30 seconds on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball at the Casper Event Center. State consolation on MyLocalRadio.com and K9 Radio. MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
24-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View took the second set by a score of 25-17. A point here for Douglas would do the same in reverse. Mountain View up 2-0 as of current here in the regional consolation semifinal, a state consolation semifinal, I should say. Hutchings to the outside. It's Rinker. Cross-court shot picked up by Hunsicker. Return tight on the net, and Townsend trying to end it. Shoots it down. Hutchings on the return up. Flip over by Rinker. Back to Townsend. She sets up for Fertig. Picked up on the first touch by Condis. A third bump over by Meeks, just inbounds. Johnson to Townsend. Outside is Johnson again, off the hands of Meeks. She bumps it over. Picked up by Igo on the Douglas side. Fertig to end it again. Off 2 blockers, and Condis saves it, not quite yet. Hutchings to the back line. Bugus with an attack. Picked up, tight on the net. A joust won by Olivia Meeks. Set point number 2 coming up for Mountain View. Or for Douglas. Mountain View with the serve. Douglas leading 24-18. Emily Bugus serving for the Buffs. Pushed up Johnson, right side, blocked by Rinker. Hunsicker keeps it up in play. Now to Furtick. She beats the block off the hands of Meeks. We're headed to set number 4. Douglas wins it 25-18 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And set number 4 when we return in about 2.5 minutes from now. Mountain View takes the first 2 sets, Douglas the third. And everything's working Douglas Bearcat way. We'll see how that comes out in set number 4. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com and KNY and 99.1 FM.
Do you like following your Mountain View and Lyman athletics when you can't make it to the game? Well, we love bringing it to you. Hi, I'm Jake Hibbard, voice of the Mountain View Buffaloes and Lyman Eagles, and I've been traveling around the state of Wyoming and covering high school sports for the better part of a decade. Whether it's covering a big culminating event at the Casper Event Center, calling a tightly contested Mountain View-Lyman game, the greatest rivalry in this state, or kicking back and enjoying the views at one of this state's many hidden gems like the ballpark in Cowley, Wyoming, there's a few things I always see. There's officials trying their hardest, coaches sweating it out on the sidelines, and there's always a ton of support for these athletes from the entire community. MyLocalRadio.com would like to take a moment to thank all of its sponsors for making today's video coverage possible. Without all of us working together, none of this could happen. If you would like to support our future video broadcasts of Lyman and Mountain View sports, there's a few ways you can let us know. The first is, you can call our home office in Evanston, Wyoming at 307-789-8116 and let them know that you would like to know more about how you can become a sponsor of Bridger Valley Sports. The other is, you can just come up to me before or after a game and ask for more information. We've got a lot of different tiers of sponsorship and we'll find the perfect one for you. We would love for you to join the MyLocalRadio.com and Bridger Valley Sports family and help us continue to bring these games for years to come. That number again to call for the Evanston office is 307-789-8116. Or just come up and see me at one of the games and let me help you help us. And remember, go Eagles and go Buffs.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Allie Rinker with the opening serve of set number 4 for Mountain View as we get started all over again. 2-1 the count, and the serve is inbounds for an ace on the back white line. Mountain View takes the opening point of set 1 here on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Allie Rinker with ace number 1 of the day. It's been a quiet day going for Allie Rinker. 3 kills on the stat side, 3 kills, 1 ace. Return from Johnson, high set from Townsend to Furtig at 6-4. A high set works perfectly. She powers it down with the top trajectory. Straight down the line, 1-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Let's see, Furtig finished with 4 kills in set number 3. That puts her at a modest 14, now 15 in the game. Bump over from Bugus back to the Douglas side. Townsend to the middle. No, it is to the middle, but Igo takes control of it. The set was off, intended for Furtig. Stevens against Furtig. Goes off the hands of Townsend. Picked up by Camden. Then to the middle. Furtig winds up on it. Picked up by Bugus. High from Camry to Stevens. Sharp cross. High return from Johnson. Townsend to the middle. Again, Furtig powers it down. Allison Furtig has it all working here in set number 4. 2 kills for Douglas and a 2-1 lead on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Furtig palms the ball under the net and throws it over to the server, Abby Hoopman. It's pushed up by Rinker. Camry Hutchings to Stevens. Sharp cross, returned by Hunsicker. Great dump over from Townsend. No other option there. Hutchings back to Stevens. Goes sharp cross again. Returned over and out of bounds. Well, Stevens with the kill there. And Fertig on her on the block. Right now, Allison is playing bigger than, even she is right now. She is confident. Her arms are up, shoulders straight back, head held high. She is a mountain of confidence right now, and that's tough to go against for Stevens. She's opted to mostly go sharp cross or sharp push over on the attack. Right side, Johnson deflected off the hands of Stevens. Camry to the middle, Dellinger, single coverage, flips it over of Allison Fertig. And two players run into each other. Hunsicker got hit in the jaw. Ooh. She's hit on the back right jaw. She's laughing, but I think her face is a little numb. Kill for Dellinger. I said earlier, just about all of Kylie Dellinger's kills have been a little funky today. I guess that one included. Hunsicker stays in. She's all right. Moving that mouth up and down, though, trying to get the jaw working back right. To the outside, Fertig. Slapped off the hands of Stevens. Pancake was up. No, it was not. 3-3 becomes, 3-3 goes the score. Mountain View had the lead. Now Douglas ties it. Here in set number 4. Two strong teams. Mountain View, a 4 seed from the West in a very strong Western Conference this year. Nearly an ace. Casey Bugas pushes it over. Fertig on the first touch. The ensuing attack. Hits it off the block, and a net touch called on Dellinger. Point to Douglas. 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Chloe Collins, the server. On the 4A court, it's a tight one in set 4. Set 3, Star Valley trying to hold off being eliminated in straight sets by Cheyenne East. Back to our court on 3A. Outside, Igo tips it over 2 blockers. Pancake was up, but the second touch is out of bounds for the Bugas girls. 4-3 becomes 5-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Give the kill to Igo there. Now 10 in the game for Jocelyn. Johnson sends over an ace. 6-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. All Douglas, and this is what you worry about. Volleyball is a game of momentum. It doesn't matter if you have a 2-set-to-none lead. When you start that third set, when you start that fourth set, that means nothing. It starts all over. You don't get to build off your old success. You have to start all over. Back-to-back aces for Chloe Collins. She's leading the way in that department for, I guess, all teams today. Now it's 7-3. She's got 4 aces in the game. They get 5. She had 2 in the first, 1 in the second, now 2 in the fourth. Third bump just over by Bugas. Fertig goes down to her knees to get a set up. Igo tools off the block of Hutchings. Another point Douglas's way. Timeout taken by Mountain View. 8-3 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
Looking ever more like we could be heading for a set 5, an 8-3 lead here at the Casper Event Center on the final day of the volleyball season for Wyoming in 2019. A 4th set lead early on for Douglas of 5 points has Mountain View taking a timeout. They took the first 2 sets 25-20 and 25-17. Douglas the third, 25-18. Winner of this goes into the third place match at 2 p.m. Loser, that's it, that's the season. The season will conclude for all of the teams left here today, but you hope to get to one last match and maybe end the season with a win. That's what these two teams are fighting for right now. Cross-court shot from Stevens, picked up. Townsend to the middle. No, it goes to Igo on the outside. Stevens picks it up. Hutchings to the outside again. Stevens has to back up on the set. Off the hands of Fertig. She misread the block there. And out of the break, Stevens with a kill. Haley really carried the attacking department in sets 2. Really sets 1 and 2. They need to get her working again. She's got 2 kills in set number 4 here. 8-4 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Fertig takes a swing at it from the outside position. Bump set from Bugus back to Stevens. She hits it into the net. And it's a point for Douglas. 9-4. I think part of it is the legs of Stevens are getting a little bit tired. Camden Townsend, no, pardon me. That is Emma Saunders with the serve as Fertig now out of the game. Stevens on the right side of the net. Block, pick back up. Rinker will push it over. It's a jump up. Townsend to Igo, picked up by Stevens. Now she'll return from the outside. No, it's a right side setup for Tim. She hits it into the net. 10-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Another serve for Saunders, low return. Back set, Stevens. Cross-court shot out of bounds. 11-4, an absolute runaway in set number 4. And a timeout again taken by Mountain View. Their second, already just 15 points in. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball, live and online at mylocalradio.com and KNYN 99.1 FM. Douglas leads Mountain View in set 4, 11-4.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Mountain View now out of timeouts in set 4, just 15 points in, 11-4 the tally in favor of Douglas. They climb back to win the third set. Douglas did, holding off a few runs by Mountain View. Now the Buffs down by 7 and facing either comeback or face an abbreviated set to 15. A net touch on Mountain View. Camry Hutchings. And the point out of the break, again, to Douglas. 12-4 on the Benedict's Market on True Value board. Saunders, the server. Calling out targeting positions, I think. Maybe a question of rotation on the Mountain View side. Stevens should be where, yeah, Stevens is right. She's in the right part of the court. Rinker. Okay. Well, if Stevens is out of place, then she's been out of place for about half the points. Now, Rinker should be opposite of Stevens in the rotation as I'm looking back, and right now Rinker's playing middle back, but that's okay because she's the farthest to the left in the back row. Kylie Dellinger is in the back row, but she's actually playing up in the front line. Camry Hutchings is in the back row. Everything's right. Yeah, looking at that rotation wheel, everything's set up correctly. May look a little funky, but it's all right. 12-4 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve pushed up by Rinker. Outside, oh no, Stevens has no chance. It goes by the stanchion. And a miss set by Hutchings. 13-4, and now with 2 timeouts taken in the first 15 points, if the ship hasn't been righted by now, you're just going to have to hope that it gets so on the court for the Buffs. 13-4 the score. Outside Stevens, she's blocked by Olsen. Hutchings tips it over Olsen, and she gets called for an illegal back row attack. Hutchings in the back line officially. We were talking about that just moments ago with the rotation wheel. She can't go over the net and attack like that. And I think Camry just kind of forgot where she was in the wheel. Tried to dump it over. Close to an ace here. Bump set from Hutchings and a push over by Stevens. That was a good call by the officials there to see that one immediately. Olsen in the back line to the middle. She kills it. Allie Olsen another point, and Douglas rolling, 15-4. 4 straight points out of the second timeout taken by Mountain View. Hard serve, Rinker returns it. I think it was headed out of bounds. Stevens against 2 blockers, sharp cross. Finally a kill for Mountain View as it sails over the webbing that separates the 3A and the 1A courts. 15-5. Allie Hunsicker, I believe this, no, she's into the game as DS. The serve is Haley Stevens, puts Rinker up into the front line. Returned over the net, Timms to Hutchings. Sets outside. Rinker has single coverage. You got to terminate there. She goes cross court. Right to Hunsicker, though. High setup. Igo off the hands of a blocker there. It was off the hands of Dellinger. Rinker again, this time double coverage. Hits it off of Townsend. And the termination for Allie Rinker. Right now, Allie Rinker's playing with 2 rotations of no Allison Fertig. This is when Mountain View has really their last chance in this contest in the 4th set. They need Allie hitting big on the outside, and they need to get some good passing to even set that up. Good block at the middle by Dellinger from Olsen. Tried Igo. She's deflected over and getting blocked by Dellinger. This time Rinker can't quite block Townsend. Bump set from Bugis over by Rinker. Igo on the outside. Sharp cross. Picked up from Hutchings. Another bump set from Bugis. This is a tough hit for Allie. She gets it just over the line. Olsen to Townsend. Outside again. Igo out of bounds. And no touch ruled anywhere. Point again Mountain View's way. So you take the serve receive out in this rotation. This is a great opportunity for an attack for Mountain View. They don't need to worry about the serve receive. They just need to worry about getting the attack in a position where they can attack themselves. Bump set from Bugis. And Rinker, sharp cross. That's been one trouble, is that they're targeting Hutchings to keep the setter out of the play. Igo terminates at the middle through single coverage of Dellinger. And the point back to Douglas, 16-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Camden Townsend serves. Got a large Lander contingency behind me. They're set up for the match. Scheduled for about an hour, a half hour from now. Maybe it was actually scheduled for 10:30. It was scheduled for 10:30. It was scheduled for about 4 minutes from now. That's why they're all here. Mountain View has Hutchings to Rinker. Inbounds by a hair for the kill. 16-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. That's 2 kills for Allie. This, the final rotation with Allison Fertig on the bench. 16-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Caitlin Timms with the serve up. Townsend outside. Johnson with the swing is pushed out and over by Meeks. Hunsicker to Igo, flipped over the net. Hutchings takes the deep line defense. Set from Condis to Rinker at the 10-foot line. Sharp cross right to Hunsicker. Townsend to the outside herself. Igo down the line, and for the point, Jocelyn Igo goes. As you go, Igo and Jocelyn goes right down the line. 17-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jocelyn with the serve. Got a little weak on it, but it does go over the net. Cross-court shot from Rinker. She's going right at the body of Hunsicker. She returns it up. Johnson picked up. Oh, we got a stoppage of play here. Is it a ball on the court? I missed what it was, but I think the point goes Mountain View's way. It does. I missed what the play was. Maybe a net touch or something along those lines against Douglas. But 17-9 to score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Emily Bugis serving to the back left court. Picked up by Johnson. Townsend gets it back to Johnson at the 10-foot line. And again, a net touch, this time on Mountain View. It's against, I think, Rinker. No, it's against Olivia Meeks. 18-9 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And again, no stoppages of play unless there's a great run by Mountain View that forces a Douglas stop, because Mountain View is out of timeouts. Hunsicker hits it into the, it doesn't even hit the net. She missed everything on that serve. It hit about the bottom line. 18-10. Allie Rinker serving. Fertig back into the contest. Stevens up into the front line. Set up Fertig at the middle on a tandem attack. Rinker defends it. Bump set from Meeks. Back to Rinker. She pushes it to the corner. Takes Townsend out of the play, but a good set by Johnson. Gives it to the middle, and Fertig under the hit. Point back Buffs way. 18-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mountain View with the serve. It's Rinker again, back right side after Hunsicker. To the middle. It's a tandem attack again. Fertig hit hard by Rinker, over and just in. Back to Fertig again. Hit out of the net by Meeks, and a lift called against Olivia. 19-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. See Jamie Strite and the Pinedale Wranglers sitting across from us, getting ready to take the court in their consolation match. Return over. Bugis to Timms. No, that's Hutchings. And how is that not a lift? Finally, our 4 hits called is, okay, we'll take that. Fertig, I think, hit it up with her knee. I thought she also got it with her hands, though. 19-12 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Casey Bugus on the serve. Bugus had 2 aces back in the second set. That sparked a comeback, as Mountain View did have to come back in set 2. It was not an easy one. Fertig takes an outside push over, back to Mountain View side. Bugus to Hutchings, to Stevens. Right in system, beats the block. And a second touch up by Townsend. After a good save, backline attack, out of bounds, back-to-back points for the Buffs. Little chance, a little bit of life, and a timeout taken by Buffalo. This is the First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com and KNY on 99.1 FM.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
the Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
19-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Douglas leading Mountain View. Douglas taking a timeout here. Set number 4. A 2-1 lead for Mountain View here at the state semifinal consolation round. This for a spot in third place. A spot in the third place match. Casey Bugus with the serve. It's over. Picked up by Hunsaker, but shanked. Townsend chases it down, backline attack by Igo. Bugus to Hutchings, outside Stevens. 2 blockers on her, out of bounds, and no touch. 20-13. On the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Chloe Collins with the serve up. Outside attack, Stevens. Cross-court shot, high returned. Hunsaker gets it to stay in the court area. 10-foot line attack from Igo, goes down the line and to Emily Bugus. Stevens beats the block, hits it off the hands of Townsend. Great diving save made by Igo, a double hit on Fertig trying to set it. She's a middle for a reason. That's not a setter's move. 20-14. Coach Rhodes on the bench says, hey, go for the bump set. Fertig not a setter, in case you were wondering. And a lift called an ace on the serve for Camry Hutchings. Another point for Mountain View, 20-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hunsaker just gets it over. Camden Townsend returns it over the net. Dellinger terminates. 3 straight points for the Buffs, 20-16. A little bit of fire back on the bench and on the Mountain View Buffs side of the court on the right. A little life in the crowd as well. Camry Hutchings sends it long. It's to Hunsaker. Fertig still going for that set. It's to Igo down the line and inbounds, and hey, Fertig got the assist after all. 21-16 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve to Douglas. It's Saunders with it. Fertig is on the bench, replaced by Allie Olsen, that middle blocker. Rinker, a sharp cross. Long run for Townsend. She returns it close to the net. Igo bops it over. Bump set from Hutchings to the 10-foot line in the middle position. Dellinger hits it over. Olsen at the middle. Rinker back to Stevens, pushes it into the net, and it was 4 hits. It was a double hit called on Stevens. I don't know what the call is there. If there was a touch on the right side, it wasn't a double hit. If it was 4 hits, it wasn't. Coach Tim's fired up, and that's the wrong call one way or another, because if it was either 4 hits or it was in and Mountain View had the kill. May have just been the wrong hand signal. But the double hit can't be right. 2 hits called on Douglas's side. 22-17 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Stevens with the serve, just over. Tied on the net, dug out, a third pushed over by Olsen, my goodness. To the 10-foot line, Dellinger winds up off of Olsen again. Kylie Dellinger with the kill, 22-18. 22-18. Floating serve just over by Stevens. Set Townsend to Igo off the hands of Timms. Igo read that block perfectly and hit it straight off the side of Tim. She left a little space open between her hand and the antenna. 5 kills in the set for Jocelyn Igo. Serve over from Townsend, bumped over Rinker. She wants the attack, gets it, single coverage, sharp cross, picked up by Igo. Igo attacks through 2 blockers, point, and set point coming up, Douglas. The power of Rinker's attack just hasn't been there today. She's gone for those crosses as opposed to trying to get it down the line. I'm not sure if she's just not seeing the reads that she wants, maybe having to adjust to the block, but we need some power out of that line. Kylie Dellinger provides it on a slide attack. Puts us at set point number 2, 24-19. 4 kills for Dellinger in the set. It's got to be close to a set high on the season for Kylie. She's on the bench. Olivia Meeks in along with Rinker and Timms. Caitlin Timms, the server. Picked up by Collins. Right side, Igo through 2 blockers. Pushed up again, this set point number 2 to force a 5th. Outside attack, Rinker pushes it over 2 blockers. Townsend to the set of Johnson to Igo. It's a pancake up. The play is still going. Tip by Rinker is over and out of bounds. Set number 5 on its way. 25-19 the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Set 5 for the season and one more game to play on the line here at the Casper Event Center. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com and KNY and 99.1.
With MyLocalRadio.com, you get to stay up to date with Lyman and Mountain View sports by watching all of the games live in the convenience of your own home. Now you get to keep up with your coaches, athletes, and teachers throughout the week with the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner. Weekdays during the school year, the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner will run on KNYN 99.1 FM at 3 p.m. and keep you up to date with the most interesting storylines from Lyman and Mountain View in football, volleyball, basketball, swimming, running, golf, and more. We'll also check in with different students and teachers from the 2 schools throughout the year. 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on KNYN 99.1 FM is the Bridger Valley Coaches Show presented by MyLocalRadio.com. Stay connected.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
We're here to help strengthen our community. Yes, that's right. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we take pride in belonging to our community. We encourage people of every race, gender, and belief to come together and give their all towards the betterment of our community. It's about people helping people. When you join our credit union, you also join a movement. At Trona Valley, we are thankful for our members, member NCUA, trust NCUA, a credit union system that is safe, sound, and secure.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Set number 5. Last one for one of these teams. The other will get one more best of 3. Best out of 5. Best 3 out of 5. Douglas and Mountain View. 9 a.m. contest for everyone, broadcasters included. Mountain View took the first 2 sets, 25-20 and 25-17. Douglas took the third, 25-18, and the fourth, 25-19. And as the game has progressed, we've seen the legs of Mountain View maybe get a little bit tired. And for Douglas, they've got a heavy hitter out of the middle. Her legs are doing fine because at 6'4", she doesn't really need to jump, but she's got a little bit of movement up and down. But, man, she's hitting the ball well. Allison Fertig, big dominator, and she's just such an intimidating force at the middle that Mountain View is trying to hit around, and I think it's starting to pile up. Let's see what they got. Mountain View has the opening serve to begin the fifth set on the right side of the net over to the left. Set up Townsend to the middle. It's Johnson flipping it over, single coverage into the donut hole over Olivia Meeks. 1-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Braden Johnson with the kill. Every point so much more important here in set number 1. Or set number 5. Just to 15. Over, Bugus kind of shanks it, flipped over by Hutchings, returned over the net by Hunsicker. Bugus returns it, that being Emily. Hutchings to the outside at Stevens, winds up, power shot, picked up by Townsend, and Fertig gets a hit from the middle. Stays on Mountain View's side, and a bump over from Meeks on the second. It was tight on the net, no attack there. They'll go to the outside, Johnson on the net. Oh, she was over the line. Point to Mountain View. She was in the net, over the line, 1-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. The set by Townsend was so close. It was actually over. She may have just wanted to let that one go over. See what happened that way. Casey Bugus with the serve for the Buffs. 1-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This is the final set of the season for one of these two teams. Over on the return and a pushover by Rinker. Back to Douglas's side. Townsend to the middle. Fertig winds up, double coverage, cross-court shot. Bugus gets a defense up. And Stevens on the attack. Cross-court and not quite a kill. Hunsicker to Townsend. Blocked by Dellinger. And what's going on? There's a net touch on Fertig. A net touch on Allison Fertig gives Mountain View the point. And Dellinger got a good attack on it. Kylie, 4 kills in the 4th set, 2 in the 3rd. An unlikely power hitter. Out of the break, it's Townsend with dump set over. 2-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Dellinger providing 6 kills and 1 block in the last 2 sets. Trying to keep Mountain View afloat here on the attack. Chloe Collins serves it over, returned by Rinker. Outside attack, it's Stevens, sharp cross. Hunsicker shakes it a bit, but it'll be a returnable ball for Chloe Collins. 3 bumps and over, Igo on the 3rd. Hutchings on the right side, sets to the outside. Stevens, a good approach, down the line, kill, Mountain View. 3-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Stevens, her first kill in the 5th set. Camry Hutchings serving. Bump up to the outside. Chloe Collins hits the wrong side of the antenna. Point Mountain View. The winner of this will play either Pinedale or Lander at the scheduled time at 2 p.m., but the contest ahead of us is supposed to have already stopped, so we're probably a little bit behind on that, as I think that's probably a 5-setter as well. Camry Hutchings sets to Stevens, 2 blockers on her. Fertig stuffs it down. 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Fertig 17 kills in the game, just 2 blocks. However, the amount of shots she's altered, kind of like Rudy Gobert for the Jazz, cannot be underestimated. Push over from Stevens onto the Douglas side. That was from the right side. A bump over by Igo. Out of system. A chance here for Mountain View. Hutchings receives the pass over from Bugus. And a cross-court kill for Haley Stevens. Another point for Mountain View. 5-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 5-3. Mountain View with the lead. Stevens shoots it over. Hunsicker, a low return, pushed up by Townsend and then to Igo down the line. Casey Bugus goes down to her backside, getting the return up on the cross-court shot. Rinker, a good swing on it, but again to Hunsicker. Hunsicker in the cross-court. Igo can't get it over the net. No, she just does. It flips over. Rinker in desperation, trying to get it over. 1, 2, 3, can't not. It was all tied on the net. Nobody quite got it over for Mountain View. 5-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Johnson, Kinley Johnson checks in for Douglas. Puts the setter for Douglas on the left side of the net. Camden Townsend back to serve. A 1-point contest. Served over and a shanked return by Casey Bugus. 5-5. I haven't seen Casey miss on a ball like that all season long. Townsend with the ace. Her first. Little roll shot over by Rinker. Return close on the net. 3 bumps and over from Olsen over to the Mountain View side. Back set. Here's Timms. Winds up on it. She's blocked. Tries to save it. Bucas on the second touch, and Rinker pushes it up and just over. And whoa! Kinley Johnson missed on the return. I think she was coming off as Camden Townsend wanted to call her off of that, and that results in what we'll call a kill for Allie Rinker. And really is a mistake on the Douglas side. 6-5 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Correct that scoreboard right now. Returned over onto the Douglas side. Outside, right side, it's Igo. Pushed up onto the Mountain View end. Cross-court shot. Rinker, she's not gone line in quite some time. I think once earlier this set has been about it. Igo on the outside. She delivers a line shot for a kill. 6-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 11 kills for Jocelyn Igo. No, she's got more than that. 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 kills for Igo. 6 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Rinker off one blocker. It was off the hands of Johnson. She gets a second bump up and a third push over from Braden Johnson. Tied game. Bumps at Bugas to Rinker. Cross-court shot is out of bounds. 7-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. No timeout taken by either side. They still get 2 in the 5th. Jocelyn Igo on the serve. Rinker, bit of a shank return. Hutchings returns it over the net. Tee off for Olsen. Push up by Condis. Bugas punches it. No chance for a third. Back-to-back points for Douglas. Still no timeout taken. Coach Timms. There she goes. Calls it. She took her time, but called it with the down official. 8-6. Douglas on top. A spot in the third place match on the line. This is the First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service.
They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
8-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Douglas taking control of this match in the late points. It's only to 15. We're halfway through. If it was college, they would have switched sides at this point. But it's still Mountain View on the right, Douglas on the left. Cross-court shot from Rinker, high return. Igo on the first touch, and there was a net touch called, so a point back to Mountain View out of the break. I don't think the net touch was delayed on the call. I think I was delayed in seeing it as I was watching the ball go back to Hunsicker. 8-7, Emily Bugas serving for Mountain View. Townsend sets up outside. Johnson long and out, but a touch called. 9-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A touch called somewhere. Must have been at the line or at the net. Didn't catch who the single coverage was there. High return, no lift called there on Emily Bugas. Keeps it playing. Fertig gets the set to the middle. She's blocked, but blocked out of bounds. 10-7 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3-point lead and just 5 points to go to advance on to the third place match against either Lander or Pinedale. Bump up high, Hutchings to the middle. It's Olivia Meeks. Tips it over one blocker. And it's down. Olivia Meeks. Has been a while since we've been able to say hello, Olivia. Her first kill in 2 sets. 10-8. Allie Rinker on the serve. Let's see what the legs of Haley Stevens have got left for the senior outside. Going up against Fertig all contest long. A great block by Olivia Meeks. Picked up. Dump set over from Hutchings. And oh my goodness, Camden Townsend lost control of her hands there, I guess. 10-9, she bumped it into a player. Allie Rinker serves again. 1 point differential. Townsend sets outside of the antenna, and it's tied up. A bad set from Townsend there. Forces the timeout. We're all knotted up at 10 apiece. 10-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com, K9 Radio as well. 10-10, set number 5, Douglas and Mountain View.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
A roll back for Mountain View. Back from the dead one more time. Set number 5, 10-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, serving Douglas. Return by Hunsicker. They go to the middle. Allison Fertig tipped up by Meek, stays on the Mountain View side. Stevens pushes it over the 10-foot line to the middle of the court. Return tight on the net. Townsend to Fertig. And a illegal back line attack called against Townsend. She went over the net. She's in the back row in this 5-1 formation. So Mountain View takes the lead, 11-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Rinker serves again. High set, Fertig has to back up on it. Bucas on the return. Hutchings to the outside. Stevens has single coverage. Cross court, shot for the kill. Haley Stevens forces the Douglas timeout, and Mountain View with the lead, 12-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll take a break. Back in 30 seconds on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Buffs Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Back here, 12-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Allie Rinker serves over. Allison Fertig sends it from the middle, picked up from Rinker. Stevens against two blockers, blocked by Fertig. Diving save made by Bucas. Camry Hutchings to Meeks. She's blocked down again by Fertig. Allison Fertig looming large, figuratively and quite literally on that play. 12-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve back Douglas's way. Alyssa Bullington. Over to Rinker. High return to the middle of the court. Hutchings makes the run. Ooh, it's a tough shot for Haley Stevens, but she gets the sharp cross off the hands of Fertig for the kill. And it's 13-11 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Star Valley's won 2 sets as well, so that game's in the 5th set as well. 7-6, Star Valley leading East. Casey Bucas serving Douglas. 11-13, the Mountain View lead. Bump set from Townsend. Fertig can still get a good swing on it. She does. Returned over the net. Slap back down with the left hand. And Bucas gets it up again, but into the net. Allison Fertig with the point back. 12 points for Douglas. 13 for Mountain View. Even on a broken play like that, on a bump set where Allison has to hold on and wait to see where it goes, she's able to get a good swing because her hands already go right to that net. She's able to read the ball well as well. 13-12, onto the Douglas side. Fertig from the middle, blocked by Stevens. Try it again, this time to Fertig with the left hand. Emily Bucas on the first touch, to the left side, trying to beat the block is Stevens. To the middle of the court, deflected by Fertig. Douglas side, Igo winds up off the hands of Camry Hutchings. 13-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jocelyn Igo again with the kill. And a timeout by Mountain View. 13 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. The 2-point differential will decide who gets one more contest on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
13-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Constellation semifinals. Douglas serving Mountain View set number 5. 1-15 wins it, and their season continues one more game. Dellinger on the right side. No chance to get a shot up. It was a bad bump set, and it's match point number 1 for Douglas. Chloe Collins 1 point away from one more match. Returned up by Rinker. There's nobody on the second. Hutchings just gets it over. Stevens pushes it over the net to try to end it. Igo, cross-court shot. It's through the hands of Dellinger. And Douglas has climbed back from down 2 sets to none to win the third, the fourth, and the fifth set. 15-13, the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. They will play either Pinedale or Lander at 2 p.m. today in the third place match for Mountain View. Their season ends in heartbreak. 2 sets could not finish out a third. And we'll take a break. Close out this season on a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
Post-game here, Douglas has defeated Mountain View by a final of 15-13 on the heels of 4 straight points to close out the fifth set from 13-11 to 15-13. The final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and that is the Mountain View season as they conclude it with that loss going up 2 sets to none over Douglas, but lost the third set. Got away from them just a little bit. It was 25-18, and that was a game where Mountain View actually had a chance, a very real chance of getting into it. Take a look down at that third set. Mountain View was within 9-11, got down in those middle points, down 17-13, climbed back to 16-18, but it was closed out by a big run. That was in set number 3, 25-18 by Douglas. And then in set 4, that was really kind of Douglas's to go most of the way. They jumped out after Mountain View had an early lead, 7-3. Douglas had the lead over them. Mountain View tried climbing back, but was never really able to. They used their first 2 timeouts in the first 15 points of the contest and trailed 11-4, and then out of that break, 4 straight points for Douglas made it 15-4. Buffs made a good run at the end, but just gave up too many points early on as the final 25-19, and then down the stretch in that fifth set, it was Mountain View early 5-3. Tied back up at 5-all, and then Douglas took a lead at 8-6. That forced the first Mountain View timeout. Douglas took their first timeout when Mountain View tied it back up at 10 apiece. And then Mountain View took a couple of straight points. Douglas took one, and then 3 straight, and then another one, I should say, made it 13-11. Mountain View took the final timeout, did Douglas. Of theirs after that point, Mountain View took one when Douglas got 2 straight points, and then out of that break, 2 points for Douglas. Capped off by the kill by Jocelyn Igo, ended the Mountain View season 15-13 and continued Douglas's year as they will take on either Pinedale or Lander in this third place match. Scheduled for about 2, but we are probably about, the clock's running right now, we'll probably get about an 11:10 start for the 3A consolation semifinal of Pinedale and Lander, and so we'll have our games back up just a little bit, so we'll see. I'll run through some stats now as we close out our book on the season for Mountain View. Haley Stevens, 17 kills and 2 blocks for her final game as a Buff in the volleyball uniform. Allie Rinker, 6 kills and 1 ace. Kylie Dellinger, 7 kills and a block in the contest. Olivia Meeks, 4 kills, 1 block, 1 ace from Ashley Timms. A kill, a block, and an ace from Camry Hutchings. 2 aces by Casey Bugis and 2 aces from Caitlin Timms as well. On the Douglas side, Braden Johnson had 4 kills, 17 including the game winner for Jocelyn Igo. Allison Fertig, 19 kills, leads the way for everyone, and 3 blocks. And those 3 blocks, is that all? Yeah, I think I've got, 3 blocks, maybe 4. I think I've missed 1 right there. 4 blocks for her, we will say. Bit of a misnomer because you get those blocks if it directly results in a point. But blocks that go for 0 attacks, they don't count in that official block standing. You get, I think they're called in-play blocks or something like that. And then just all the shots that she adjusted. Great player out of the middle for Douglas and really adjusted and I think tired out the Mountain View hitters in those 3rd, 4th, and 5th sets in the contest today. Allie Olson, she finishes with 5 kills. Kinley Johnson has 2 kills. Camden Townsend, 2 kills and an ace. Andy Hunsicker, 1 ace in the game. 4 aces, make it 5 aces out of Chloe Collins. 2 from Emma Saunders and 1 from Abby Hoopman. Those are your stats to close out the year for this final contest. Again, Mountain View falls to Douglas in 5 sets. And what ends up being a season eliminator. We'll be done with Buffalo girls sports until the basketball season starts up on, I think that's December 8th or something like that, at the Bridger Valley on a Friday-Saturday tournament for Mountain View and Lyman. For Mountain View, though, we do have 1 more fall sports broadcast. That's next Friday at noon. The 2A state championship. It's a rematch of last year. Buffalo against the Buffaloes. Mountain View versus the Buffalo Bison. Noon with an 11:15 pregame, and if that adjusts at all, we'll let you know. But that's the first contest of the day at the state championships at War Memorial Stadium. I'll be there to bring you that live coverage right here on mylocalradio.com, KNYN 99.1 FM as well. Thank you for listening all season long. It's been a blast covering volleyball from both Lyman and Mountain View. We'll get ready for winter as soon as we finish out this fall season. Join us next Friday at War Memorial, 11:15 a.m. Mountain View versus Buffalo, the 2A state championship on the line. Thanks for listening. I'm Jake Hibbert. We'll see you next time.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this mylocalradio.com exclusive of Mountain View Buffaloes Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Mountain View broadcasts, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Buffs!